G'day everyone, this is Joel from the Gyms Group head office, and we're with John Wilds, who's one of our trainers today and also a judge in the Show Us Your Best competition. So thanks to John for jumping on real quickly. So you can talk about your expertise in regards to showing what you've chosen as well. So who was your 3 votes for your favourite entry? You have the entries.
Chad Kelly.
Chad was your 3. All right. Why did you pick Chad? So we're going to click through his stuff here now and have a look.
This one, Joel. I like this one.
Yeah.
This is the one I sort of liked. I like the idea of a nice area that he got overgrown with weeds, and it showed with a little bit of tender loving care. It came up really good.
Well, who was your 2 votes?
2 votes. I actually like Greg.
So let me go to Greg here. So what did you like about Greg's one?
I like the video.
Yeah.
But I also liked an area which sort of untidy, where he can't use it at all, can't even get in the back gate. And then the result was really nice, a nice clean area. It's not one of your high-end sort of manicured gardens. It was more like a bushy block in the area it's in, but the result was fantastic.
Greg used to work for me, so it's amazing how he went from videographer, but I think he just for mental health, he needs to get out of the office.
His skills from being an inside worker to now are fantastic.
Now, John, who was your 1 vote?
Well, 1 vote was Kapil.
All right, let's go to him. All right, let me have a look. So he's done a heap of cap cut videos here, which is cool. So what did you like about Kapil's entries?
See, this was a pretty much nondescript toppings on the pathways.
Yeah.
You put down synthetic turf and have a look at it. It popped it. Again, those dead areas in houses with a bit of tender loving care can now become really useful areas and look good.
Now, what about this one here about on the roof?
Got rid of the roof garden.
That's just mad. But I think it's a great one to illustrate just the amount of work, different things that the guys and girls can do, right? Was there any other entries that stood out to you, mate?
Adrian's good.
There's a whole bunch of good stuff here, isn't there? Wide variety of work.
Good hedging. There was some fantastic hedging. He had some paving, some toppings, some commercials. You know, that's fantastic. Those hedges are great. Adrian, your quality is magnificent.
Is there anyone else you want to give a special mention to with your training?
I haven't got any more else written down. I've looked at them all, and they're all fantastic. I'm really proud of the work we do as gyms and the quality of work we've got out there, and thank everyone for putting their videos in. It's always hard to judge. There's always got to be someone who wins, but that's not saying that their work wasn't of a magnificent standard. You know, these videos, we'll put them out there, and hopefully they'll help us also for the success of the whole brand and every other franchisee.
So we're joined by John Clarke today, who's a regional franchisor in Queensland, who was one of our judges for the Show Us Your Best competition. We're going to go through your winners. So let's start with your number 1 then, maybe your
number 1 for 3 votes. 3 votes. My number 1 is Nathan Willison.
Saving Your Marriage. And this one here was a lawn. Was it a lawn rejuvenation? What would you call it? A lawn rejuvenation project?
Lawn transformation, really. I think it's quite incredible. You know, I started watching the video. I said, oh, yeah, he's done a nice mow on that. But watching it all the way to the end and ultimately what the finished product is, like, you know, there's obviously a bit of time between when he first mowed it and the final product, but it's quite impressive. Just the initial cleanup of cutting it down and getting it tidy and finding the edges again and so forth. But then ongoing from that, probably done a dethatch, probably aerated it at some point and fertilized it. Plenty of water, as you can see there. It's the sprinklers are on, and then you see this final product, and it's a wow factor. I think some nice stripes he's laid down there, and look, it's a beautiful looking lawn now. Anyone would be proud of that.
And what was your next one there, John?
Michael Buttigieg. Yeah, so there's one along a back fence line. You know, it was just grass, and he's turned it into a garden bed, and there's some progression photos there.
Full backyard makeover, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and it looks amazing now.
And these hedges as well. These topiary style things as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. You go from that to this, which just shows the skills of some of our franchisees out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic work that he's done there. Yeah.
And what was the 1 vote one for you?
Adrian Semmler. It's a bit of a body of work of his. It's not one particular one that I've picked out, but his hedging looks really good.
How much practice is involved in getting it to that stage? It's obviously people think it's easier. I know it's not easy from going out in the field with a lot of franchisees, and you know yourself from being in the field. So
that's some pretty good skills there to get that like that. I mean, it's clearly a hedge that he does on a regular basis, and it would literally be just taking the tips off and keeping it neat. But to get it to that standard in the first place would have taken a bit. Yeah, it takes a fair bit of skill. Not everyone can just go out there and hedge. One other was, I think it's
Larkwinder Singh, yep. Let's go into his one here. He's got a whole bunch of videos, done some before and afters here, which is great. Gee whiz, look at that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a jungle, and that
Absolutely.
comes up nice and clear
Yeah.
after he's done.
Oh, well, thanks for that 3-2-1 there, John. That's great. It's good to hear some insights well with it. We hopefully can get you on again for the next one, and we hope that
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. It's quite enjoyable having a look at that stuff.
So Ben, thanks for joining us as one of the judges for the first Show Us Your Best competition, which was a good initiative from the division, and we thank you guys for being judges. And for those who know Ben's been around for a very long time, since he was 18 years old, and Ben's done some interviews and stuff. You can check out his story. But Ben's a good judge in this because you've had so much experience over the years, Ben, so you would have seen a lot of work over the years. So what was your 3-2-1, and do you want to talk about your reasons why for each one?
First of all, I would say really, really pleasantly surprised by the quality of the videos or photos or entries, I guess you'd call them. I thought a really good standout for me was Nathan Willison. Yeah, saving the marriage, love it.
Yep.
He needs to come to my house. 3 votes, yes.
3 votes. Sorry, I
Great.
should have been clear with that. Yep. So 3 votes, Nathan. Beautiful. So Nathan's in Hahndorf, which is great.
JS 78.
So this is JS 78, which we're looking at. So this is the before shots. Cool,
So-
pretty big hedge.
And they're difficult, these hedges, to get to look good.
Now, why is that? Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Oh, just if you go too hard, it's very hard once it's a bit like a haircut, once you've done it, and then to get it to look nice and even. I like these little, look at that, nice, neat, even hedges. It's a big job. I just looked at that and thought that is a very, very difficult job to do. And then the other one that I liked, there was another lawn rejuvenation, which I had it written down.
I think that's Michael. So Michael submitted a whole bunch of stuff, which is fantastic. So I like Michael for his volume of his work because he
There's more
provided so much
content
stuff.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Well, there's a few of them. There's a few photos of that lawn there. So,
Yeah.
look, to be honest, he could have been a winner, but I definitely think he needs to be in the vote 100%. He could have been a winner, but if I had to choose someone else, I've given him the 1 vote. It is outstanding what he was able to do. Those photos are awesome. In a way, I feel like I changed him. I was impressed with that hedge just because I knew how hard a work it was. Look at that. That is just immaculate. We'll call him Mickey B. Mickey B, your work is outstanding. If he ever bumps into me, I owe him a slab of beer, at least a slab of beer. I would like to have a can of meal with him one day and tell him how good a work he does. And so the other 2 that got the votes, I love the big hedge. I feel like that's a tough job.
Well, thing for us as well, we're using those photos that people have shared in ads to promote, traffic to the website and some work leads. So we want to use real photos of franchisees, and the stuff that Michael and all the other franchisees we've shown, that's the really good stuff. It's not a stock Canva photo or something like that with some fake photo or something. It's a real photo. So people like that sort of stuff, and it can instantly show the quality of work that we do. So this is for the Show Us Your Best competition with Peter Rogers, who was one of our judges. So Peter's in WA, so it's great. We've got a broad mix of people from Vic, 2 in Vic, and Peter in WA. So let's go through your winners, Peter. So let's go through your 3-2-1. Who did you go for?
Okay, so we'll start with number 3. So Michael Buttigieg.
Yep. So is that 3 votes for your best or for your
3 votes for my best one would be
awesome. What was stood out to you with Michael's work?
Just the variety of work that he's done and just the consistently high quality of work. Quite a bit of topiary work there as well, which is very technical. That one there, that sort of work takes a lot of time and a lot of skill. That's what we want all to aspire to. So some of the garden makeover and landscaping work, like those 2 there, it's just not mowing lawns. It's taking backyards from an ugly backyard up to the new standard that everybody wants and sit out in the backyard and enjoy.
Who was your 2? Who's next up?
Okay, interesting one, this one. So Andrew Painter. Andrew done his presentation a little bit totally different to everybody else, which stood out. And he chose to do it a day in the life of a gym on the road. And so 7 jobs, 7 different videos, driving between each job. And that was actually quite good because that type of thing is we can actually use that when we're talking to new prospects and highlight that, we just don't do mowing, we do gardening work. And the regional guys like Andrew got a bit of travel between some of the jobs. So 1 minute he's doing a large acreage ride-on job, the next minute he's doing a gardening job in town.
Yep.
I'll go on equal second. Nathan Willison. I think Nathan's over in South Australia. Couldn't separate. I needed to get him in there on the list because he's just done a lawn recovery and his title there, Saving a Marriage, Pension and Home with the husband and wife, which we do a lot of. We actually save a lot of husbands from being strung up, I reckon.
So if someone wants to get their property for sale and they want that garden looking, that grass looking green as is, you do have methods where you can accelerate that process if needed.
Yeah, we've got a few little tips up our sleeves, but
Yep.
if you're getting a house ready for sale and it's not like it was there in those early photos, we need a good at least 6 weeks to get it from that to ready for photos. Don't ring us up the week before, because when the week before, it's going to look pretty average after we do it. So
Yep.
we need a good 4 to 6 weeks worth of work to get that looking good for photos for you.
And what about your number one?
Yeah, so this one, Gerard Ormond. So I've actually chosen this one for a bravery award because he's taken on some pretty big and ugly jobs. So you look at some of these jobs here, and no disrespect for the owners at all, because there's a lot of properties like this around Australia. But a job like this, you walk in and you go, how the hell am I going to do this? And where's the starting point? The hardest job sometimes is knowing where to start. And you go, okay, this is going to look, in our mind, when we take on a job like this, we know what it's going to look like. The customers just want it looking better. And you'll see the end photos coming up shortly on this one. To take a job on like that, that's a good full 8, 10, 12 hours worth of work there, and a lot of material to be taken away. And again, a property like this increases the street value of the property, makes your neighbours happy. And you come home and you go, okay, I've got a footpath now to walk on, and I've got a fence, and I can actually see where I'm actually walking. And it's safer because less chance of rats and mice and associated snakes and all that sort of stuff getting around the property.
Is there anything else there, Pete, you want to give a shout out to, or is there any other entries that caught your eye?
And there was another one, Alan Richardson, done a great presentation.
Yep.
Really good presentation there with not all the fancy jobs. He's done some of the grunt work as well. These presentations with the slides was amazing to watch and look at. You could see exactly what he was trying to highlight. Andrew Semmler, he's done some great landscaping work as well, which was pleasing to see. And this highlights that everybody thinks we just mow lawns. A message we need to get out to the general public that we don't just do lawns. Some of the guys are highly skilled in landscaping work as well. So,
well, Pete, thank you very much for your time today, mate. We're going to do this again in a month or two. I think it's been good for franchisees to submit, and hopefully we get more franchisees submitting some more stuff next time. Thanks for your time.